Hello there, everyone. Today is Friday, December 28th, 2018. And I figured today, as soon as I move the camera down, that's better. We're going to talk about something important that happened here in Queens last night. If you are not aware of what happened, I'll talk about it. So last night, if you didn't hear, there was a transformer explosion, and I'm going to leave the tweet from Con Edison right now, what they sent out earlier this morning. Pretty much last night, sometime after 8:45 last night, a transformer exploded in the area of 20th Avenue and 31st Street in Queens. And during that time, believe it or not, I wasn't home. Thankfully, when it happened, I was actually seeing, believe it or not, Mary Poppins with a couple of my friends. And crazy enough, an old friend of mine from high school texted me asking, "Did you see the blue light? Did you see the blue light?" Because obviously he knows where I live. And I told him no, I was actually in Long Island. And Matt Camper, I'll give him credit for covering it from start to finish last night. Pretty intense on what the neighbors saw, because same thing my dad was telling me was that it was big blue sky that was west of us. Because here, that window over there, there's a window over there. This window over here is a different view of the north. Over there, that window, that's where my dad looked out last night, and he was freaking out. And I know I'm going to make it a little political here, but my dad was thinking the Russians were actually coming to invade us and Putin dropped the bomb on us. So, crazy enough, it wasn't that. It was a normal transformer explosion. And the scary thing about it was pets were affected by this. I'll go into my story last night, and I'm a little bit tired. It's only, almost noon? But I'll talk to you about the story last night when I got home. So, my dog Teddy, which you've seen on this channel once, and the old Snapchat post I used to do, he was upset. He was confused. It was actually daytime. Because he was actually out with my dad. I'm not going to say what he was doing, but Teddy was out in my backyard with my dad, and apparently what happened was Teddy got confused, and thankfully my dad took him out at 1:30 in the morning and to try to calm him down, and thankfully he did, and Teddy was acting like his normal self at 10 o'clock in the morning asking for food. But this confused pets, believe it or not. Not that many people are going to tell you this, but a lot of pets were affected by this explosion last night, including my dog. The neighbor's dog is affected too. I'll quickly mention the dog's name, Fluffy. And he was affected too. He's around the same age, about a few years older than Teddy. I'd say about maybe, let's see, Teddy's going to be 11 in June, and I know Fluffy is, Fluffy is around 13, 14 years old, so he was affected by this too. He was barking for a bit, but the neighbors did calm him down, and the dog thought it was daytime too, across the street where my neighbors live. So, obviously, pets were confused by this. The media is not going to tell you this, but it was scary for them. And a lot of them were confused, thinking what had happened. But that's why I'm a little bit tired, because my precious big fella didn't get that much sleep last night. Even though, I got 9 hours of sleep, I only got about, I'd say, 9 hours, and I still feel tired because I still couldn't stop thinking about Teddy, and thankfully he's fine now. But I was watching the news last night, And of course, a lot of people were scared, of course, too. LaGuardia Airport, they lost power for nearly an hour and a half. It came back on, thankfully. The 7 train was affected by this. They had to suspend service between Jackson Heights Roosevelt Avenue, which is 74th Street Broadway, and Flushing Main Street because of this. And I'm still in Northern Long Island Railroad refused to cross on her. And you know what happened. I'm not going to say her name because that's the last thing we want to do in this video. But as far as what had happened last night, it was very suspicious that this transformer could explode in the wintertime. Now, you would normally think when a transformer explodes, and especially how, again, I know somebody in the electrical field very well, and he even thought it was suspicious too. He didn't talk about it on the news, but he called it suspicious, and he agreed with my dad last night, was that how in the world could something like this happen right at the end of December, when, first of all, the temperature last night was barely at 40 degrees, and how could something like this happen, right? We honestly don't know. Con Edison, again, they still have to investigate this. They only know it was a transformer explosion, again, at 20th Avenue and 31st Street in Astoria. Reports came in that, believe it or not, all 5 boroughs saw this. As far east as by 72nd Street and York Avenue, as far north as Throgs Neck in the Bronx, and as far west as Greenpoint, Brooklyn. And yes, here in Fresh Meadows, people saw it. Pretty much most of Northeast Queens saw the explosion last night. They saw that blue sky. There were also reports that people saw it in Midtown, but that's unconfirmed at the moment. So, yeah, only about 3 boroughs saw the explosion, which was the Bronx, Manhattan, and Brooklyn. And also, I quickly want to mention, somebody reported seeing it in White Plains, Westchester last night, but that's unconfirmed as well. But the only outages were, again, at LaGuardia Airport and along the 7 line in Jackson Heights near Corona. Those were the only outages that were reported at the moment. Thankfully, nobody was killed, nobody was injured. That's the good news. The only negative effect, and I'll also get into it as well, was we actually have a whirlpool tub in my house. It's in my mother's bathroom. And right after the blue light happened, the tub kept going on and off, and my dad was freaking out about it, and we had a family discussion about this earlier this morning, was that, you know, when we go to Maryland, and if this happens when we're not home, what's going to happen if it happens again? So we're in the process of figuring out how to turn off the whirlpool, you want to call it. I mean, I'm not going to show a picture of it because then my mom would freak out. Why did you put it on the internet? So, yeah, believe me, it's not going to be on here, but we are figuring out if there's the circuit breaker in our basement. We're going to figure out how to turn it off because we don't want another situation like that happening again when we get home and then all of a sudden Con Edison's going to charge us extra because we didn't do preventative maintenance. So we don't want that happening again. And by the way, one more note. I've been talking about 10 minutes long now. Yes, my parents were home, so they were able to know the whirlpool in my mom's bathroom was acting up because as it was happening, my dad was again outside with my dog, which again, that explains why I'm still tired because I had to keep an eye on the poor thing. And of course, with my mom watching TV in her bedroom, the whirlpool is right next door, so that's why she was able to hear it. So, there's that. And before I wrap up this video, if you want to know what's in my background, that's my other cooling thing. I use that in the summer when we want to save money on the AC in the summer. Back there is my PS3 I use to watch Blu-rays, DVDs at night, and I also use it to record any plays with. Yeah, and I still have electricity. That's the main thing. That's why I'm still able to charge my laptop that I'm recording on right now. That's why I'm able to talk to you all. Tell you that I'm just thankful I wasn't home when it happened. And if it did, I would have had a vlog about it today. I would have had something to upload today, but this is just my reaction video to it. Main thing is, I'm alright. I'm just thankful that I wasn't home. And either way, with New Year's weekend, I'm not going to talk about my plans this weekend. I have a lot to do with family this weekend before the New Year, so that being all out of the way, thank you all for watching. I'm quickly going to mention I'm going to upload Channel 7's coverage of what happened last night on Vimeo. So I'm in the process of recording that as we speak using my OBS because I have a way to DVR it from my cloud DVR. I'm not going to say what cloud DVR it's from, but I did DVR the news last night so I can show you what Channel 7 was showing with regards to what happened last night. So that's going to be on my Vimeo. Link for that will be in the description below. I will edit this video's description if I have to when it's uploaded. So that being all said, thank you all for watching. Until the next one, please take care.